Hello everybody, this is Join speaking here, and welcome to Paleo Reviews. So basically, back on New Year's Day, I decided to celebrate a brand new year by revisiting an old documentary series from my childhood, Walking with Dinosaurs from 1999. That and because I want to celebrate the new Walking with Dinosaurs series coming this year, 2025. Then later on, I was made aware that there are some images shown online on what some of the dinosaurs will look like in the new series, and I was thinking, uh-oh, I better review this program quickly. Valley of the T-Rex can wait. Obviously, last time I watched this show was when I was a kid, so naturally, I had to refresh my memory. So, now that I've rewatched Walking with Dinosaurs, is it as good as I remember? Absolutely. Since the release of this show and the arrival of Steven Spielberg's Jurassic Park and the Lost World Jurassic Park, a lot more discoveries and studies have been made. Even by today's standards, Walking with Dinosaurs is still one of the most beloved documentaries, and it was considered one of the crown jewels of paleontology and dinosaur media of the 90s from back in the day. It definitely started it all because since then, there were even more documentaries coming out, even the ones that are not so great. Dinosaurs may be gone, but their legacy has numerous ways of staying alive. It's not just the fossils, but seeing dinosaurs in action in TV shows, the movies, you name it. It's always fun to see dinosaurs come to life in works of fiction, but Walking with Dinosaurs offers the viewers a reminder that dinosaurs were no different from today's animals. The first thing I want to bring up is that I really appreciate the special effects. Much like Jurassic Park, Walking with Dinosaurs relied on a mixture of CGI and practical effects. They also filmed real-life locations in our world, which was very impressive, and that helped the setting of each timeline feel more prehistoric. When the camera shows distant shots of dinosaurs, they would be CGI, but when it comes to showing a dinosaur or any other animal in a close-up shot, they use puppets/animatronics. There's also a few scenes where they showed real-life animals too. The close-up shots of these dinosaurs felt so real and gorgeous to look at, and it really made them more believable to watch. It never felt like you're looking at a Muppet, it felt like you are up close and personal with these animals. Heck, because of that, when I was a kid watching this, I thought I was looking at real dinosaurs. Another thing I appreciate is that it achieves a natural approach. Even though the science and other things are dated and questionable by today's standards, it still feels like you're watching a nature documentary show with dinosaurs in them. Considering this is meant to be a nature show, all the dinosaurs and other animals did what you'd expect in it. Especially the carnivorous dinosaurs, they aren't always shown killing things every time they're on screen. I think my favorite was when it showed some allosaurs loafing around while they watched some diplodocus walking by. And Walking with Dinosaurs even showed dinosaurs being smart and making the right calls. One good example would be that one Ornithalistes who saw a bunch of baby diplodocus making a run for it in the forest, but chose to not go after them because it already has food. Another good example would be when an Allosaurus makes the right call to back away from an angry Stegosaurus rather than attack it. Sadly, some mistakes were still made though. Let's not forget that this program showed that even herbivore dinosaurs like Stegosaurus and Ankylosaurus can be dangerous too. Another thing I liked is that it showed the reality of nature. Dinosaurs are fun to watch. However, Walking with Dinosaurs also reminds the viewers that they are not indestructible. Like I said, they were no different from today's wild animals. In the animal world, nature is indiscriminate, and this program has shown that in some pretty graphic ways. In fact, some scenes were deleted from the American cut due to them being deemed too disturbing for some viewers. I personally can't blame these guys for feeling uncomfortable with stuff like that. At the same time, what can you do about it? Nature is cruel, and it's been that way ever since the dawn of time. Considering that Walking with Dinosaurs is like a dramatic soap opera, where it goes down the traditional path of a nature documentary show, it should be expected to not hold back. I did mention watching the show as a child, and you might be wondering, did some of the graphic scenes scare you as a child? I was not really traumatized, although I will admit that the scene with the Leopleurodon killing the Ophthalmosaurus did creep me out a bit. Outside the ending of the final episode, Death of a Dynasty, there were at least some moments of hope for some of these animals that lived through some crap. I would usually talk about what I dislike after discussing what I like, but I personally don't have any. There is one eyebrow-raising moment for me. It's not severe to the point where it affected my viewing of this program for me at least, but it's still questionable. Sometimes the narration of this program would portray evolution as an event of supremacy, meaning a species evolves to take over the world or be superior to another species. For example, the narrator said, and I quote, A grim evolutionary battle has broken out among the newer types of reptiles for supremacy of this strange world. There's also talk on a world dominated by dinosaurs, sauropods dominating the Jurassic period in Earth's history, pterosaurs surrendering their skies to the birds, all of that jazz. If you guys have watched my Life on Our Planet video, I'm sure you'll know how I feel about that. A war between species in the act of evolution? That's not how evolution works, and all I'm seeing are animals just living their lives. However, I can't be angry because 1, Walking with Dinosaurs is an old documentary from the late 90s, so that kind of talk was circling around during that time. And number 2, the supremacy talk wasn't constant, and it didn't feel like it was being shoved in my face. The narration was more focused on the dinosaurs surviving and living their lives. It bothered me with Netflix's Life on Our Planet though, because it's a modern documentary that never shuts up about the dynasty talk that was debunked and shut down long ago, and oh my word, that was infuriating. Now, as you may know, it is filled with outdated and questionable stuff. Stuff including some species lacking feathers, shrink wrapping, hand wrists that aren't properly positioned, misplaced wildlife, some species being reclassified. Oh, and let's not forget to address the elephant in the room. Leopleurodon being too big. By the way, remember the scene where there was a giant Leopleurodon popping out of the water and grabbing a Eustretospondylis? I think that scene predicted the death of the Indominus Rex in Jurassic World. If you're a paleontologist or just a casual person who studied a lot of paleontology, it is natural to go in and point out what documentaries did right or wrong with animals that died out eons ago. Which, there's nothing wrong with that, don't get me wrong. There are in-depth reviews on the flaws of this program already, and if you want to check it out, feel free to do so because I'm not going to do that. I do acknowledge what's wrong with this documentary in science terms, but in cases like this, it's not worth it to have high blood pressure over it anyways. On top of that, it's mostly dated, obviously, because since the time it came out, there have been a lot more discoveries and studies being made. Remember in one of my Prehistoric Planet review videos where I mentioned how Prehistoric Planet shows how far we've come with stuff we know today? Walking with Dinosaurs can do the same thing too. Heck, I'd compare that to looking back at retro dinosaurs where, while things are different now, there's still appreciation even today. This program, with the problems it has, can be like a time capsule, where we can casually look back at what was quote-unquote accurate during that time in the 90s and the modern times we live in today, much like with retro and modern dinosaurs. I already mentioned that there is a new Walking with Dinosaurs series coming out, so it's going to be interesting to compare and contrast both the new series and the original, but hopefully the new series is handled right. As for any of my favorite scenes, I like seeing the Utahraptors. Yes, I know they lack feathers in the show, but it was fun to see them in action, and they look gorgeous with the leopard-colored skins. Another favorite scene of mine, when it showed the baby Leanosaura for the first time. They were so cute, and that scene makes me want to hold one in my hands. Too bad that will never happen. Last but not least, I like seeing the Stegosaurus intimidating the Allosaurus. I know that there's no evidence of plates being able to change colors, but that was a fun scene, and that Allosaurus made the right call to back off. Plus, there are some species of animals that can change colors, so yeah. To conclude, Walking with Dinosaurs is a classic, and I'm glad I did a rewatch on it. I still love it for what it is, and I don't think that will change anytime soon. This program has phenomenal special effects, a mature and great narration, breathtaking music, memorable moments, and a great achievement on portraying the dinosaurs and other animals naturally. Definitely a great Kickstarter to more future dinosaur documentaries. Walking with Dinosaurs shall be given a solid 10 out of 10 sickle claws. I will definitely do a Paleo Reviews on the new series once it gets out, although there is something else in mind. On another Paleo Reviews video, oh boy, I'm going to be breaking my silence with this movie in particular. Last time I saw it was in December 2013. Good grief, this is going to be hard watching it again just for the sake of refreshing my memory. Well, wish me luck on that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later.